Hello, grade 4 learners. My name is Teacher L and welcome to quarter 1, week 5 of our science lesson. For today, we will talk about how we can minimize harmful changes in materials. So get ready, listen carefully, and let's learn how to protect ourselves and our surroundings. Now, let's move to subtopic 1, harmful effects of physical change. We already know that a physical change means the object changes in shape, size, or state, but it stays the same material. But did you know that not all physical changes are good? Some of them can actually cause harm to nature and living things. Example, too much evaporation. Evaporation is when water turns into vapor and goes up into the air. Too much evaporation means a lot of water is disappearing from where it should be, like from lakes, rivers, or even the soil. This can lead to drying up of water sources or increase in droughts, which means there is not enough water for people, animals, and plants. Another example, melting of glaciers. Glaciers are huge or large ice formations in cold places. It stores a lot of fresh water. Now, because of global warming, they melt faster than normal. This causes sea levels to rise, which can lead to flooding in some areas and loss of homes or habitat for animals like polar bears. So even if these are just physical changes, they can have a big and harmful effects on our environment. That's why we must be careful and responsible in taking care of our earth. Now, let's go to subtopic 2, harmful effects of chemical change. Earlier, we learned that a chemical change happens when a material turns into something new, a new substance is formed. But did you know that some chemical changes can be harmful to people, animals, and our environment? So let's look at some examples. Air pollution. Chemical changes can release harmful gases into the air, like when cars burn fuel or factories produce smoke. So when factories or cars release smoke and harmful gases, it causes air pollution. So this can make it hard to breathe and can lead to sickness and even cause environmental damage like harming animals and plants. Water contamination. Chemical changes can also happen in water, like when factories dump waste into rivers or when fertilizer from farms wash into lakes. So when chemicals are thrown into rivers or seas, the water becomes contaminated or dirty. This harms fish and other water animals, and it's not safe for people to drink or use. Soil degradation. Chemical changes in the soil can occur when pesticides, herbicides, or other chemicals are used in farming or gardening. So these harmful chemicals in the soil can cause loss of soil fertility, meaning crops may not grow well. It can also lead to the contamination of food, which is dangerous to people's health. Corrosion. Corrosion is a chemical change that happens when metals react with substances in the environment, like oxygen or water. So when metals rust due to chemical reactions, it causes damage to structures like bridges, gates, and buildings. It also leads to costly repairs. Acid rain. Chemical reactions in the atmosphere can produce acids that fall back to Earth as rain, snow, or fog. So it leads to damage to ecosystems like forests and lakes and causes the deterioration of buildings and monuments over time. Groundwater contamination. Chemicals from industrial spills, landfills, or agricultural runoff can seep into the ground and contaminate groundwater sources. This is another serious result of chemical change. This is groundwater contamination. So this can lead to health risks for people and animals who drink the water. It also causes long-term environmental damage, making the land and water unsafe for years. This time, let us discuss the different ways in minimizing harmful effects and changes in properties of materials. First is by recycling. Recycling conserves natural resources, reduces energy consumption, and minimizes greenhouse gas emissions associated with resource extraction and manufacturing processes. So the benefit to humans, recycling reduces the need for raw materials, lowering production costs for goods made from recycled materials. It also creates job opportunities in the recycling industry. Reducing consumption. Reduced consumption decreases the demand for new materials, helping to conserve natural resources and minimize environmental degradation associated with resource extraction and production. So by consuming less, individuals can save money, reduce clutter in their homes, and lead simpler, less stressful lifestyles. Reusing items. Reusing items conserves resources and reduces waste generation, lowering the burden of landfills and minimizing pollution from disposal. So again, reusing items saves money by extending the lifespan of the products and reducing the need for frequent replacements. So it also fosters creativity and innovation in finding new uses for old items. Choosing eco-friendly alternatives. Eco-friendly materials are typically biodegradable, compostable, or recyclable, reducing their environmental impact and promoting sustainable resource use. So eco-friendly alternatives often contain fewer harmful chemicals, making them safer for human health. Reducing exposure to toxins may also promote a healthier lifestyle. Proper disposal. Proper disposal minimizes the release of hazardous substances into the environment, preserving ecosystem health and biodiversity. Benefit to humans. Proper disposal practices help prevent pollution and contamination of air, water, and soil, safeguarding human health and well-being. Conservation and preservation. Conservation and preservation initiatives safeguard biodiversity, mitigate climate change, and maintain ecological balance, ensuring natural systems' long-term health and resilience. Conservation efforts protect natural habitats and ecosystems, providing recreational opportunities, clean air and water, and essential ecosystem services that support human livelihoods. Education and awareness. Benefit to the environment. Increased awareness fosters a culture of environmental stewardship and promotes collective efforts to address environmental challenges, leading to more effective conservation and sustainability initiatives. So education and awareness campaigns empower individuals to make informed choices and take action to reduce their environmental footprint, leading to healthier and more sustainable lifestyles. Now, let's talk about the proper handling of reactive materials. So here are the examples of reactive materials and how to properly handle these materials. First is the bleach. Bleach is a common household cleaner that contains sodium hypochlorite, which can react with acids to produce chlorine gas, a toxic substance. So always use bleach in a well-ventilated area to prevent the buildup of chlorine gas. Never mix bleach with acids or ammonia-based cleaners to avoid the production of toxic gases. Wear gloves and protective eyewear to avoid skin and eye irritation when handling bleach. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for dilution and usage carefully. Ammonia. Ammonia is often found in household cleaning products. It can react with bleach to produce toxic chloramine vapors. So use ammonia-based cleaners in well-ventilated areas to prevent inhalation of fumes. Never mix ammonia with bleach, as this can produce toxic chloramine vapors. Wear gloves and protective eyewear to prevent skin and eye irritation when handling ammonia. Store ammonia-based cleaners in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight and sources of heat. Aluminum foil. Aluminum foil can react with acidic foods like tomatoes or citrus fruits, releasing hydrogen gas. Avoid using aluminum foil with acidic foods to prevent the release of hydrogen gas. Store aluminum foil in a cool, dry place away from sources of moisture to prevent corrosion. Batteries. Household batteries contain reactive materials like lithium, zinc, or alkaline electrolytes. If batteries are damaged or improperly disposed of, they can leak corrosive chemicals or even explode. Handle batteries with care and avoid damaging them to prevent leaks or explosions. Store batteries in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight and sources of heat. Dispose of batteries properly according to local regulations and never incinerate them. Drain cleaners. Drain cleaners often contain highly reactive chemicals like sodium hydroxide or sulfuric acid, which can cause burns if not handled properly. Use drain cleaners in a well-ventilated area and avoid inhaling fumes. Wear gloves and protective eyewear when handling drain cleaners to prevent skin and eye irritation. Never mix drain cleaners with other chemicals, as this can produce hazardous reactions. Oven cleaners. Oven cleaners may contain strong alkalis like sodium hydroxide, which can react with organic matter to dissolve grease and grime. Use oven cleaners according to the manufacturer's instructions and avoid prolonged skin contact. Wear gloves and protective eyewear when handling oven cleaners to prevent skin and eye irritation. Ensure proper ventilation when using oven cleaners to avoid inhaling fumes. Hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, commonly used as a disinfectant, can react with certain metals like copper or iron to produce oxygen gas. Handle hydrogen peroxide with care and avoid contact with metals to prevent the production of oxygen gas. Store hydrogen peroxide in a cool, dark place away from sources of heat and light. Do not mix hydrogen peroxide with other chemicals unless directed to do so by a qualified professional. Matches and lighters. Matches and lighters contain reactive materials like phosphorus or flammable gases, which ignite when struck or activated. Store matches and lighters in a safe place out of children's reach and away from heat sources. Handle matches and lighters with care to prevent accidental ignition. Never leave matches or lighters unattended and ensure they are fully extinguished after use. Household cleaners. Many household cleaners contain reactive chemicals such as acids, bases, or oxidizing agents, which can be hazardous if mixed together or handled improperly. Read and follow the manufacturer's instructions for proper usage and storage of household cleaners. Avoid mixing different household cleaners together to prevent hazardous reactions. Wear gloves and protective eyewear to avoid skin and eye irritation when handling household cleaners. That's the end of our lesson. See you next time.